What's going on, Chaz? It says we live now, so I first of all have to see what you up to. What you up to, man?
Not much, just taking it easy. Ready to dive into this case. It's been getting a lot of publicity, and this very, very touching, and it's tough because this brother's life was at stake.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the state of Texas versus Carmelo Anthony, and we're not talking about the basketball player, but we're going to go into more detail and we'll unfold this. This broadcast can be seen every Wednesday at 6:30. Make that 6 o'clock
Yeah,
Central Time. So we want you all to know that this broadcast tonight is really, really very important. And so what I wanted to know is, Chaz, this was your baby because you wanted to talk about this. So let's start talking about it from the standpoint of the state of Texas versus Carmelo Anthony. Let me ask you this. Are many people familiar with this case?
I believe so. I've had a few people that I'm familiar with that have been talking about it here and there, and a lot of people are in an uproar. In fact, it's still picking up a lot of steam on YouTube, the news. So I would say a lot of people are familiar with it, especially when you have the race dynamics that's involved in it. What's your take on it?
Well, I don't think that many people are interested in this case because, Diddy and all the other things that's been going on, we've been preoccupied, and a lot of people don't, they could really care less, because it's not something that's, fashionable. But this is something that we can't let slip by us because this young man to the left of me, the African American, his name is Carmelo Anthony. And the gentleman to the right, his name is Austin Metcalf. And we will say at the outset, we don't take pride or we don't gloat in anybody losing a life. But
Right.
the gentleman on the right, Mr. Metcalf, he was stabbed by the man on the left, Carmelo Anthony. And this case happened near Dallas. And I think it was a little community called Frisco, Texas. But we're going to get into all of that. But before we do that, let's welcome the people in. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the stage for our audience because we need to have a good background before we dive into this thing.
Yeah, I really got a couple things that I found out about this case that I would like to expose. But yeah, let's go ahead and welcome the people who have chimed in. We got Anuja in the building. She fires in here. She says, "Peace and blessings, fam. We appreciate her." Sister Marie fires in here. She says, "Hotep family. We appreciate her."
Okay, Chaz. So before we get started, in fact, let's go ahead to the clip and let people see what really happened, and we'll take it from there. So everybody just be on standby because we're getting ready to show you exactly what happened, and we'll get a chance to really look into this thing and see if we can come up with making some kind of sense out of the nonsense. So just stand by as we get this going here.
Okay.
5:37 right now. A grand jury in North Texas has indicted an 18-year-old accused of fatally stabbing another teen at a track meet.
Carmelo Anthony was arrested April 2nd in connection with the death of Austin Metcalf. Anthony is accused of killing Metcalf during a track meet at a stadium where both their Frisco high school teams were participating. Anthony told police he acted in self-defense and was provoked by Metcalf during an altercation before the stabbing. Anthony's attorney emphasized in a video statement he plans to use that defense.
Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense.
Metcalf's father issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm pleased that we're moving forward with the first-degree murder indictment. It now goes into the court system. I fully believe that justice will be served for Austin Metcalf. I look forward to the forthcoming trial, but it will never bring my son back," end quote. A first-degree murder charge carries a 5 to 99 years or life in prison sentence if convicted. Anthony has been on house arrest since he was released on bond April 14th.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, Chaz, that's something, man. It's really unfortunate too because it's so much going on today. When we
Yeah.
think about the girls and the counselors that was killed in the flood, in Kerrville. I mean, it's just a lot of things happening, and we just have to stay on top of things, especially as people that really should know what's happening in our communities and what's happening in our state, what's happening in our city, and what's happening in the world. But this case here is another case that's in Texas. So
Yeah.
you want to say something about it because we have more information we want to show.
Yeah, I just want to expose this. Now, I've done research. I've been all over YouTube looking at this information. Now, here's the thing that burns me up. Most of the people who've been reporting on this, they're not telling the full story. Now, they're just talking about Austin Metcalf approached him at a track meet. That's not the full story. There's a witness that was with this brother, Karmelo Anthony. He said both of them. So Austin Metcalf and his brother approached him. And it wasn't no just, hey, sir, how you doing? I guess apparently they went through the man's backpack. So when it's two people and both of the guys, from my information, is around 300 pounds, when you got two guys like that coming at you, and here's one more thing I wanted to say. This wasn't at a school where, a local school. This was a community track meet. So whenever you go anywhere, a restaurant, a bowling alley, anywhere, you have to keep yourself protected. So for the people who sit here and say, well, what was he doing with a knife at a school? It was a community track meet. So let's get that understood too, because I think that's not being told. And like I said, last but not least, the fact that they're not exposing that Metcalf and his brother approached Anthony.
Yeah, and we have some footage that we're going to show of that. But the question I have, Chazz, is why some African Americans say that Karmelo Anthony is guilty. I was listening to some of these podcasts, and some of the blacks they surprised me. They said he's guilty even before his trial. Why does it seem like many blacks, many African Americans, why does it seem like we're just not fair when it comes to us?
Because the narrative that's been painted about us throughout these decades and centuries, that the black man is evil, the black man is wicked, the black man is no good, he's rotten, he deserves to be under the prison. This is all the narratives that have been painted about the black man. So when they see another one, a young man with dreadlocks in his head, they're going to automatically assume that that's what happened. So that's why they're not giving this brother a fair case. And I've heard some of the same stories as well, brother. They are saying the same thing. They want Karmelo Anthony thrown underneath the jail cell.
And if they convict this man to the left, Karmelo Anthony, they said he could face up to 99 years in prison or get life. And, you would think that we would be more sentimental because of the situation, because none of us were there. But
Right.
like you said, we have an eyewitness. I'm going to play that when I'm done talking. But we have a person who was actually there, because we all like to say things, we put our 2 cents in. And a lot of times we really don't know what we're talking about. But let's listen to an eyewitness who was actually there. And let's see what the eyewitness says. And then we'll be able to glean from the facts as to what really happened in this case. So y'all just stand by while we grab this footage and let you hear what an eyewitness said about this situation.
Okay.
He had said was defending himself, was charged with murder following the deletion of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf on April 2nd. There's a lot of stuff that's been going around, but I want you to listen to what is said to be an eyewitness statement that has been going around a couple of different social media platforms. I want you to listen to this, if accurate. Watch this.
It was raining. It got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet at. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that's got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bruh. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Okay, did you hear the brother? Did you hear the brother that says he's an eyewitness? And again, this was a couple of different places that had this on there.
See, now, here's my question. Like I said, I'm glad we got that witness on a file saying that. He kept saying they, and I don't think this brother is lying. When he kept saying they, he's hinting at Austin and his brother. See, the news anchors, a lot of them all over CBS and PBS and Fox, they're not saying that. So I think it's a shame that they're not highlighting that. They keep making it seem like it was a one-on-one thing. And last but not least, who are they? Even if the brother was sitting in a seat, so what? They don't own that gymnasium. I mean that track meet.
Yeah, that's true. And this is one of the reasons, too, that Carmelo's been painted like an animal, as you stated earlier, because of media manipulation and misinformation. Media outlets often frame black men negatively. So a lot of us look at this and say, well, yeah, he's guilty. Yeah, right, even before it starts. And we know nothing about the case where you just had an eyewitness who said his daughters, they saw it and they told what happened. So I'm sure they're going to be in court. But I just sometimes I'm suspect because, as we mentioned earlier, it seems like when it comes to us, we never seem to get a fair shake in the courtroom, especially when someone else is killed. When they kill one of us, an African American, then it's always that they get a chance to get off. I'm thinking about this guy that his name is Daniel Penny. He was the 24-year-old guy in New York that choked Jordan Neely to death. He choked him to death, and they had 7 women, 5 men. 8 of them were European, but they had a jury deadlocked. So he got off, man. And that's terrible. I mean, we can go on and on about Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. They're crying self-defense. And the guy, Kyle Rittenhouse, who was 17, who went from Illinois to Kenosha, Wisconsin, he killed 2 people and he cried self-defense. Where we actually see someone, as the witness said, trying to defend themselves. And it's sad, Chazz. It really is. And,
it is.
And this is what I'd like you to talk about, the internalized distrust. We don't trust each other, man. We got some problems with that.
Yeah. And this does lead to quick judgment. Like I said, all we got to do is look at the man's hairstyle, look at the man's skin, and we just automatically assume that he's guilty. And I just want to highlight real quick a little sidebar. The judge, her name was Angela Tucker. Now, she was the one initially set the bill for $1 million. Then she backtracked and said she's going to set it to $250,000. Now, when that happened, Angela Tucker had to get protection. She said she got death threats. She had to beef up security. I guess a lot of people found her information on the internet and was threatening her. I guess wanting to do harm to her. So I'm glad that she took her information down. She claims that if they find the people who's been threatening her, they will be facing charges. So Angela has to be careful as well because she's in this as well.
Right. And here's another reason that we run our mouths sometimes and we just don't know the facts. But here's another reason.
Number 3, disconnection from facts. Instead of saying, I don't know, I wasn't there, we act like we were there in the eyewitnesses. Exactly. All it takes is for one little story to come out, and we automatically, like you said, assume we were there. We're telling our family, we're telling our friends, we're telling our constituents, as co-workers that, like, we were there. We don't know. We're just going off what the news anchors tell us. And sometimes when we dig deep enough, the plot twists in the whole doggone thing. So we have to stop doing that, just assuming that we were there
and Chazz,
getting our facts straight.
I think this right here is really, this says it all about us as a people, where we are now.
Number 4, a loss of respect within many black communities. Too many of us don't value black life, so we don't see ourselves as humans.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sad. We don't respect ourselves. Listen, when you lose respect for a person, that's bad. But when you lose respect for a people, that's the pits. Because at that point, you don't care about people. And these 2 guys here, man, it's unfortunate that one lost his life over something like that. But yet again, when we don't respect one another, and I'm talking about many of us African Americans, because we have talked about Karmelo Anthony like we know him. We don't even know this guy. He's not a thug. He's not a crook. He's not a criminal. But again, it's because of our own mindset. We have been so messed up mentally and psychologically that we automatically see Karmelo as a guilty person, and his trial hasn't even come to pass yet. We have witnesses saying what happened, but when you lose respect within many black communities, as this thing says here, we just don't value black life, and that's bad, man. That's really bad.
Yeah, and it's so far gone, brother. I don't think that we can get it back. I think the damage has been so far done. I think that the reputation has been tarnished so bad now, nothing can replenish it. In fact, it's going to probably be like that until we pass away. It's too much damage that's been done. You have another comment on the screen. It says, there is so much shameful racial bias during this trial. Carmelo's family are receiving death threats. Yeah, and I even mentioned the judge, the sister's name is Angela Tucker. They are facing death threats. They want all these people wiped off the face of this earth, and they haven't sat back and said, well, why did this man have to do this? Why did two people, a big 300-pound man, why are they standing over this guy and threatening him and going through his belongings? And when people's lives are at stake, you have to use extra measures. And it's just sad that this man's family is getting threatened. And I don't know. They said that his family has raised $415,000 for a GoFundMe. So I guess people are rallying behind this brother and trying to, have it an equal playing ground.
But they lying about the money because they raised that money. But I want to play a clip that his mother says people are saying that they use that money to buy a house and all this nonsense. It's just a lot of mess, and a lot of us, we're keeping it up. We are some of the messiest people. Now, mess is everywhere. We know that, but we are some of the messiest people, man. This woman is going to speak from her heart. So those who are watching this, I just want you to sit back and hear a mother's heart. It's about 4 minutes long, but I want everybody to hear what this woman is going through, which is Karmelo Anthony's mother and her father at a conference. And just listen to what she's saying, and you're going to just really be shocked at how they're being treated now.
Good afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Karmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser. And the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a two-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in the legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Wow.
That's touching. That's touching.
It really is, Chazz. It really is.
To see a parent go through that, and I'm pretty sure the father's paranoid and nervous. She's claiming that he's afraid for his life. So much the daughter's getting punished and threatened. It's just so sad that we can't compartmentalize being as a society when we look at the situation, instead of just keeping it at Karmelo Anthony and Metcalf. When you invite these people's relatives and stuff like that, it just goes to show you how sick of a society it is. And once again, it's just an unfortunate situation. But my question is, like I said, why did Metcalf and his brother, why didn't they just let it go and say, okay, Carmelo's sitting at this spot. Oh well, there had to be other open spots where they could have sat at. Why did they run up on this man, if you will? Why couldn't they just let it go?
Yeah, because some of these people, man, they feel like they're superior and they want to have the last word. And then it was two of them against one. Again, he defended himself, and it's unfortunate that Metcalf lost his life. But like you said, some of this stuff is so basic. If they would have left him alone, I mean, he wouldn't have done it because it said he went to his backpack. And a lot of us, we just, when it comes to our thinking, we can't have this kind of discussion because people don't look at the facts. People don't look at what really happened. People don't know anything about the law. People don't know that in Texas, they don't have a stand your own ground law, but they have another law that's similar to it that basically talks about self-defense, and one can defend himself if he or she feels that they're being threatened. And so this is the thing that I'm trying to get us to see. We have what is called ingrained black skepticism. In other words, we have the attitude that because Karmelo is African American, he must have done it. And we've got to stop. We've got to stop this nonsense. We got to stop. See, Chazz, we just, it's like we living in a time where we're just mentally deranged, most of us. We don't even have an appetite for this kind of stuff. All we want to do, again, is get on the phone, listen to some music, drink a little beer, argue with people, shoot a little dice, just be messy. And this is a serious thing, man. This man is facing 99 years to life. And yet we don't care about this. Many of us don't.
Well, like I said, I don't know how to say this, but I think a lot of us do. Because like I said, when I get on my YouTube feed, I'm constantly seeing this story. And this has happened a long time ago. And I think a lot of people do care. And especially because once again, it's like this George Floyd stuff. It seems like it's all, for the most part, a white man or a white woman against a black man, and he's trying to defend himself. And real quick, Sister Sharon popped in. She said something, but we appreciate her for logging in. But yeah, brother, like you said, we have to stop this. Just because a man is black does not mean that he's guilty.
Yeah, and I mean, on social media, there are many people that's caring. But in San Antonio, Texas, I know those girls that drowned and those people that drowned in Kerrville. I know that's a huge story, and we should keep it huge. That was catastrophic. But
Yeah.
we're not talking about Karmelo. I'm telling you, man, in your circles, if you think about it, at your job, all your friends, wherever you go, many of us aren't talking about this. We don't even know about this. But
Yeah.
yet we know about the Diddy trial. We know about the girls that drowned and the camp people that had the issue with the flooding and all of that. And I mean that's something that we should listen to because that's huge. But this case here is it's like it's water under the bridge, so to speak. And it's because a lot of us we don't care, man. And we
Yeah.
just heard an eyewitness say what they saw, man. And it's like I don't know what to say about us, man. I don't know what to say about us.
Yeah, Brother Rafe popped in. He said, "Hey, y'all appreciate him." As we proceed to number 7, it's just a hatred of self. Some of us hate ourselves so much that when we see only the worst in each other, yeah. And once again, this is a programming that's been done to us not overnight, through decades, years, centuries. We see nothing good about us. We see everything negative. We think that we are the demons. We are evil. We think everything is wrong with us, and we spread it on to others. And I really do think, like you mentioned earlier, that's what we're doing to Karmelo. We think that he's black. Since he's black, he automatically did it. And I can't wait to see how this trial plays out because, like you said, if this brother faces 99 years in the penitentiary, his life is basically over.
Yeah,
And I just hate to see that.
yeah. I want to play this again, Chaz, because some of us don't even know
Both by
what's going on. So let's go
Stabbing
back to the beginning here and see what's happening.
Okay.
5:37 right now. A grand jury in North Texas has indicted an 18-year-old accused of fatally stabbing another teen at a track meet.
Karmelo Anthony was arrested April 2nd in connection with the death of Austin Metcalf. Anthony is accused of killing Metcalf during a track meet at a stadium where both their Frisco high school teams were participating. Anthony told police he acted in self-defense and was provoked by Metcalf during an altercation before the stabbing. Anthony's attorney emphasized in a video statement he plans to use that defense.
Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense.
Metcalf's father issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm pleased that we're moving forward with the first-degree murder indictment. It now goes into the court system. I fully believe that justice will be served for Austin Metcalf. I look forward to the forthcoming trial, but it will never bring my son back," end quote. A first-degree murder charge carries a 5 to 99 years or life in prison sentence if convicted. Anthony has been on house arrest since he was released on bond April 14th.
Wow. Like I said, let me ask you this. Now, we just asking questions here. How do you think this situation plays out? Do you think Karmelo Anthony would be another statistic in the history books, or do you think that they let him off?
I think it's going to depend on the jury, and it depending on the jury, the makeup of the jury, that doesn't automatically going to get him off. But a lot of us, man, it's the whole idea of this is a bad thing, man. This is sad because you already know when a European kills an African American, like George Floyd and these other people, they get a chance to get off. Yeah, and they get a chance to get off. Daniel Penny, and they call it self-defense. But here's another situation. This is the opposite. And I don't think our people see the seriousness of this, man. I think we don't care. And I know I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but we care more about TV. We care more about phones. We care more about clothes. We don't care unless it's somebody that we know or somebody in our front yard, you see. So my thing is this, man. I hope that the jury that they choose is fair. But once again, in the United States of America, we have not had a good standing when it comes to an outcome on a trial like this. And it's sad, Chaz. It's really a heartbreaking thing to hear his mother cry and talk like that because people are threatening her when basically her son was defending himself against two different people, and none of us have anything to say about this. We're not even following this case. We're not looking on social media to see when the jury is going to be picked, when the case is going to be, administered. It's just a bad situation, man.
Yeah, and here's the sad part. This isn't going to be just like a couple years or maybe a 3 month thing. As long as she's alive and the father and the sister, as long as they're alive, they're going to face this everywhere they go. So this isn't going away anytime soon. So they're going to have the mental fortitude and the mental strength to keep fighting this year in and year out because this isn't going anywhere. Number 8, a lack of critical thinking. Too lazy to research the known facts because many of us don't care about the facts. Yeah, and like I said, that's when I had to do my due diligence. I had to search around YouTube and all these avenues. And once again, because I kept feeling like the media was spinning it one way, that it was just a one-on-one thing where Metcalf just approached him and it was some little light talk and that was it. No, Metcalf and his brother approached this man. What is he supposed to do? Just sit back and just let them, pummel him? I mean, that's stupid, and he defended himself. And I'm sorry that Metcalf lost his life, but they're not telling the whole side that he was approached by two brothers. Brother Ray chimes in. He says, sadly, it's going to take more of us facing such injustice because they think we shouldn't defend ourselves against white aggression. And then he also fires in here. He says, if his son did approach Carmelo Anthony and put his hands on Carmelo, he'd still be alive.
That's true. That's true. The eyewitness, man, that right there really it helped me a lot. I'm so glad that there was an eyewitness because the eyewitness account gave me hope that there may be an out for Carmelo. And in fact, I know we're playing the same things over and over again, but I just want people to hear an eyewitness because we weren't there, so we need to be quiet. Let's hear what an eyewitness said because the eyewitness was actually, his kids were actually there. Now I'm going to start this a little bit, let it run, and then I want you all to listen to it.
Metcalf on April 2nd. There's a lot of stuff that's been going around, but I want you to listen to what is said to be an eyewitness statement that has been going around a couple of different social media platforms. I want you to listen to this, if accurate. Watch this.
It was raining. They got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up under the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up. McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in there and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, that dude that got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Okay, did you hear the brother? Did you hear the brother that says he's an eyewitness? And again, this was a couple of different places that had.
Yeah, and once again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I just want to repeat myself one more time. As long as you're at a restaurant, a bowling alley, you can have weapons on you to protect yourself. So he's fine there. And like the witness said, once again, they both tried to punch up on this man. So what is Anthony supposed to do? And if the judges are fair, they should look at this and say, you know what? This man was basically brutally attacked by two men. What is he supposed to do? Just sit there, let him swing on him? I mean, come on.
And all of you blacks, African Americans, or whomever you want to call yourselves, us as a people, we have a warped mindset about our own selves. If someone is accused of wrongdoing, many black people will try to distance themselves to avoid being associated with him. Karmelo Anthony was protecting himself. He did what he thought was right at that time based on the fact that the eyewitness said that they were punching this guy. So what was he to do as you keep saying eloquently. It's a good interrogative. But once again, Chazz, I think we need to follow this case and follow it closely, because there should be some outrage if Karmelo Anthony has to spend life in prison or 99 years when he was defending himself. And then here you have a man that, that these people go around killing people, especially this Daniel Penny guy, the 24-year-old guy who killed Jordan Neely on the subway in New York, and yet nobody's saying anything, and he's crying self-defense, but yet Daniel Penny had this guy in a headlock. So this is why we got to pay attention to this, man. We gotta start focusing on social issues, man. Everything ain't about snap, crackle, and popping. We got to start looking at our mindset and make sure that our mindset aren't warped, because that's terrible, man.
Absolutely. We see here we got a comment. Sister Sharon fires in here. She says, hopefully they practice his speech before he testifies. Yeah, I hope so too. And I hope they don't just throw it out, because they may be looking at it saying, that doesn't move me. He could have, paid him to say that. You know how these guys think. But like the sister said, I hope they thoroughly listen to this and give this brother a fair shot. I just hate that this trial is playing out the way it is. I just hope they don't throw the book at this young man. Number 10, generational divide and miscommunication. If a survey is taken, more older people would probably say that Karmelo is guilty than the younger black youth. Wow. I'll let you spit this one.
We have this so-called, I don't believe it's true, because we're all dealing with racism in a country that's filled with bigotry and hatred. But we have this whole mindset that the older people look at us, the younger people, as if they're hoodlums, they're thugs, they're criminals, they're crooks. And so the older people, if you were to take a survey, and I know I'm right on this one, they would probably say Karmelo did it. Most of the younger progressive people would probably say, give him a fair chance. You heard the witness. That's not fair. But most of the older African Americans and blacks and a lot of older people, we have a tendency to look at our youth in a way that we shouldn't be looking at our youth, because we don't know who we are. We don't love ourselves. We know nothing about our culture. We know nothing about our history. We know nothing about our identity. So therefore, we see each other in the same light. And that's a terrible thing that's happening right now, with most of us not caring and just sitting around. Somebody might say, well, we can't do anything about it. Well, you can't. But what you can do about it is you can keep up with what they're saying. You can keep up with the facts of what was going on. You've heard the news report. You've heard what we've played tonight. And if you don't know anything about it, now you do. Follow this case. Use Google. Use social media to find out, when is this man's trial? Pay close attention to it so that we can make we can have an outrage if this man is convicted, as you mentioned earlier.
Yep, and like I said, the judge, Sister Angela Tucker, she has to be careful with this as well. And now I know she has a little bit of extra cash. She's probably a well-paid judge, but she's got to be careful with this as well. Even though she's a female, a lot of people are wicked and evil. I'm pretty sure a lot of people want her wiped off the face of reserve because she set his bail a little lower. And I'm glad she had the courage to do that, because a lot of people were flooding her comment section on her internet page saying that she deserves death and stuff like that. So.
And she was getting death threats, like you said. I heard her speak. She was getting death threats. An African-American judge, she lowered his bail because it should have been lowered. And people calling and threatening her. This is some crazy stuff we're dealing with. But another huge reason, Chazz, that many black people say that Karmelo is guilty is this.
Number 11, Karmelo admitted to stabbing Austin Metcalf. Karmelo never said he didn't stab Austin. He said it was in self-defense.
That's the answer. He's not denying what he. See, this is how ignorant many of us are. Well, he must have done it. He even admitted that he stabbed him. He's not saying he didn't stab him. He's saying he did it in self-defense. But this is our mind, man. This is our mind. He had no business bringing a knife. You don't tell anybody what to do. You see, we sit up on this high pedestal, and we look down upon people. And this has got to make us irate. This has got to make us angry, man. We should not sit down and look at this case and look at it in just, well, it's just another end. Well, he shouldn't have done this, or he should have done this. But again, that's not the argument. And you have to tell people, yes, he admitted to stabbing him. He wasn't trying to hide it, because he was saying he was trying to defend himself. And this is how messed up. This is how messed up it is, man. It really is.
And before I say this, I don't want this to sound harsh, but I hate in society. Back in 2002, 2001, it used to be fair ones where it just be a one-on-one. Now, I'm not condoning violence, but when you have to jump a man or where it's 2-on-1, 3-on-1, that shows almost a coward. I mean, all if Metcalf really wanted to get the situation squashed, she should have came up to him personally. But to say, let me go get my brother to finish this black person off, that's just a weak move. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Brother Ray Fires in here. He says, right, it wasn't at school, so the weapons at school noise is a lie. Exactly. Like this brother, let me calm down real quick. Sister Sharon Fires in here. She says, yes, Jahi, you are right. Olders will say he is guilty. I'll
Yeah.
read Brother Ray's first. He is right. That noise about why is he carrying a knife at school? That wasn't a public school. That was a community track meet. You can carry
Yeah.
whatever you want to carry. So
Yeah.
Brother Ray is right. That's just noise. And then Sister Sharon says she agrees with you that the elders would probably say he's guilty, and I believe that too. I think a
Yeah,
lot of
she,
the elders
you
would
know,
say,
and I know this sister, man. She's a forthright person. She's a stand-up woman, and you know, she's a very critical and analytical thinker. So she's looking at this case, and she knows because she's been through a lot in this life, and so have all of us. And we know that some of our elders, our older people, we gotta stop this nonsense, man. We gotta
yeah,
stop seeing us as always the criminals, the hoodlums, the thieves, the wrong people. You know, we gotta start teaching our children when we see this. We should sit these children down and let them know this is the case. This is what happened. Don't leave it to the media to tell us what happened. Don't leave it to older people to tell us what happened. You heard the witness. You heard the news report, but yet we still see this guy as if he's guilty.
Brother Ray Fires in here. He says his son went over there and assaulted Carmelo 2-against-1. No, Brother Ray, was his brother. But he's right though with the same concept. He says pocket knives are legal even for children. And Brother Ray is right. These people tried to jump this man, and that's totally unfair. But back to your point, with the people, elders and stuff criticizing him, all they would do is look at his skin, look at his locks, and just automatically assume that he's guilty. But we have to stop that. And once again, I want to be clear. I'm sorry that Metcalf's family is grieving. I know when you lose a loved one, that's a hard thing to do. I mean, I want to be clear that is terrible. But you got to be fair here. Now, what was Anthony supposed to do?
And I want to play this again, Chaz, because I want people to hear this. We've got to hear this. This is his
Good
mother.
afternoon. My name is Kayla Hayes. I am the mother of Karmelo Anthony. 3 years ago, my family moved to North Texas searching for a better life. Like so many other families, we wanted to give our children the future we did not have. My husband worked hard every single day to provide for us, to make sure we're in the best financial position possible. As a stay-at-home mom, I made it my life's mission to ensure our children are loved, nurtured, and supported every step of the way. In wake of this tragic incident, our family has been under attack. Whatever you think what happened between Carmelo and the Metcalf boys, my 3 younger children, my husband, and I didn't do anything to deserve to be threatened, harassed, and lied about. The lies and false accusations that have been said about us, especially over the past week, has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification put my family in danger, as well as everyone in our community, everyone involved in the investigation, from the police, the attorneys, and the court staff. Our address and my husband's previous employer's address has been put on all social media platforms. My husband had to take a leave of absence because he's afraid what may happen to our family. His mental health is deteriorating day by day. We have endured death threats. My 13-year-old daughter is afraid to sleep in her own bedroom because she's fearful of what may happen to her. And let me be clear, the claims that were used about the public donation to buy a home or anything else are completely false. We have not received a single dime from the Give, Send, Go fundraiser, and the co-founder has stated that clearly. In the reality, we were just notified yesterday that we could begin to withdraw funds. And it still takes several days to receive those funds once a request is made. I don't know why we are being targeted and discriminated against before a fair trial. Our son deserves the same rights under the law that everyone is afforded to. He's been raised in a two-parent home with structure, stability, love, and we put God first in everything that we do. We believe in the Constitution. We believe in the laws of this state, but those laws must apply to all of us, not just some of us. To be clear, we will not speak publicly about specific details of what happened under the tent on that rainy and awful day. There's an active investigation that everyone involved wants to be full and fair. We believe in legal process, and that is where the truth will come out. To the family who experienced the loss, my heart truly goes out to you. To those who have supported my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We ask for your continued support, patience, and prayers as we navigate this difficult process. Thank you.
Chaz, that's tough, man. That's tough.
Yeah,
That's
it's sad seeing that every time you play that. It's just
that's
sad.
tough.
It's unfortunate, and like you said, or like I said earlier, even if this brother does get off, brother Karmelo Anthony, his family is going to be faced with this year in and year out. So this isn't going away anytime soon. But this is unfortunate.
Did you see her? I was looking at her husband, man. He broke down crying. We need to be there for people like that, man. See, and we all have lives, and don't mistake what I'm saying. But we all have lives, but it's as if they're out on an island, man. That woman is hurting, man. That
Yeah,
woman is crushed, man. Her
yeah,
kids can't go to sleep at night because they've been getting death threats. And then you can just imagine what they've been saying as far as the actual death threats. This stuff is just it's wild, man. And we gotta be there for people like that.
yeah,
We gotta start looking into social issues and stop always forgetting what's really going on. These people are hurting, and this brother is facing 99 years to life for self-defense. And you don't have anything to say about it. I don't have anything to say about it. We rather talk about sports. We rather talk about entertainment. We rather talk about movies. We rather talk about religion. We don't have anything to say about this. This should be
yeah,
on in all of our mouths, man.
yeah,
Those girls that died in Kerrville, that's another issue that we should be talking about,
yeah,
But this is an issue we should be talking about as well, because
yeah,
this deals with the person that looks like us, man. And I
yeah,
don't think that we don't really understand the seriousness of this thing. And I gotta calm down too, because this is getting me going as well, Chaz. But we got
yeah.
some comments, and everybody's just on the same page we're on.
Brother Ray Fires in here. He says that MLK peaceful movement today got blank messed up. He also says, even as a child, I never rocked the peaceful protesting and dignifying the indigenous. Not me. I don't mind fighting for my rights. Peace march and Negro gospel sing along is silly. Yeah, because when people see that kind of stuff, they think you're soft. So sometimes you gotta get down. Sister Barbara chimes in. She says, Carmelo didn't go at them. They came after him also. We don't know the situation prior to them approaching him. I could say in my opinion, they could have been bullying him for whatever happened. He did what he should have done, and that was protecting himself. The media will keep what they don't want to be known on behalf of the Metcalf guys just to point fingers at this young African American young man. While the NAACP should be having an outcry about this as they're having this to do next. Yeah, this is all spot on. and Al Sharpton and these kind of guys, I haven't seen them come onto the stage yet. He's somewhere shucking and jiving. I haven't seen him on there. But
Yeah,
like she said, the media will play a part to make Anthony seem evil and
yeah.
wicked when that's not true. But that was a spot on comment.
Yeah, because she's right. The NAACP, they're not doing anything. They're quiet as a church mouse. The Urban League, you don't hear from them. Where are they? The Black Caucus, you don't hear from them. Where are they? All these black leaders that's supposed to be loud and boisterous and speaking up for rights, where are they?
Ben Crump.
Yeah, all this stuff, man. And some of them want to come around when it's money to be made, you see. But
Right.
these organizations have been around for hundreds of years. And you mean to tell me this ain't first and foremost on our minds right now?
Yeah, and like she said, they're gonna paint them a certain way. And before I get to Sister Sharon's comment, I want to say real quick, that's sad that the sister said that they even lied. This sister said they lied about the $410,000 GoFundMe page. They even lied about that. So all around, this just goes to show you that they're trying to throw slander at this family any chance they get. And it's sad. Sister Sharon chimes in. She says, "I feel so sorry for this family. If if it had the opposite, this wouldn't even be making the news."
Yep.
Uh,
She's right. She's right.
Brother Ray Fires in here. He says, dignifying the indignity.
Indignity.
I mean, if it wasn't for human aggression, the human species wouldn't exist.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep his picture up there, Chaz. I gotta keep his picture up there because we don't understand what this is.
Number 12, a mistrust of self-defense.
And see,
I'll
when
let you
Malcolm
say that
X, when Malcolm X talked about by any means necessary, what do you think that was? That's self-defense. In other words, when people bother us, Malcolm X was saying we have a right within our humanity to defend ourselves by any means necessary. And I don't think people understand what's really going on in this case, man, because we're too busy doing other things. This young man is 18 years old and he may not see the light of day after the trial. So we have to keep pressuring these people to let them know this is not fair. We have to tell people to start looking up and finding out when is this man's trial going to be. We got to start talking about this around our relatives. When we get together and eating food and acting silly, when we go to our religious organizations, we should ask them, have y'all heard about this case? They say no. We should tell them about this case. This should be something that's on all of our minds right now because I really don't know what's going to happen. But like I said, Chaz, it depends on that jury. It really does. And if that jury is anything like the jury that Daniel Penny and Jordan Neely has with 7 women and 5 men, and 4 of them was of color, and the 8 of them were European. That's why they let this man Daniel Penny off, who basically choked to death Jordan Neely. You see, and it just saddens me, Chaz, that we as a people, and it's not our fault in a sense per se that he did it, but it's our fault in that we're not raising the bar, man. We're not raising the standards when it comes to justice when we're getting treated like that, unless there's somebody in our own family.
Absolutely. And Brother Ray Fires in here. He says white privilege mess with black people the wrong way and get away with it, or punish the black people who put them in a physical checkmate. Yep. And he also says self-preservation is the first law of nature. Yeah, and on his previous comment, he's right. I mean, this happens time and time again. And like I said, we talked about it with the George Floyd thing. And if it was flipped around, if Metcalf would have did this to Brother Anthony, a lot of African Americans, and we would have been upset that, I mean, that would have been the same thing. I think it would have been outcries and people beefing and stuff like that. Brother Ray Fires in here. He says, John knows I used to be a hooligan. Okay.
Yeah, and when it comes down to it, Chaz, it goes back to what we've been saying at the beginning. Are we familiar with this trial? What do we think about this trial? Are we having these discussions around the dinner table? Are we talking about this or are we talking about something else? Oh, are we talking about this? Are we caring? Like Sister Sharon said, she says something that was really crucial, and I want to put her comment up again. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, her first 7 words are powerful. She says, I feel sorry for this family. And I know why she's saying that, because she knows that they're out on a raft by themselves, man. They're out there. And nobody is, now I know people are doing what they can, those who are in their corner. But as a nation of people, 45 million African Americans in this country, you mean to tell me that we can't make more noise than this? We can't make more noise than this to let the world know that we're tired of this. And just like we were with other cases, I don't hear much clamor about this case, Chazz. So I think it's going to get swept under until they have his trial. And then once they have his trial, if they find him guilty, it'll be business as usual. We won't pick it. We won't do it. We won't say anything about this because we'll say, well, that's just another end. And that's what happens to him. And we have accepted this. And I got a problem with us as a people, man. And it's almost like I don't want to go to a cave, but it's almost like I want to go somewhere and just never return.
Yeah, I'll be keeping up with this case as well to see the verdict and what happens. And I'm hoping they don't do what we are expecting them to do. Brother Ray Fires in here. He says this is going to happen more for them to stop the madness. Yeah, and that's perfectly said. The more, and I don't condone violence. I'm not trying to act like a gangster, a thug, or an outlaw or anything like that. But Brother Ray is right. Cases like this, more of these are going to happen throughout all 50 states before people start waking up and seeing what's going on. Before people start, seeing what's going on. It's terrible.
I'm going to watch some things, Chazz. I'm going to watch starting today. I'm going to watch conversations. I'm going to even bring it up when I'm around my friends. I'm going to spark the conversation just to see. Have you heard about the Karmelo Anthony case? And I'm going to see what happens. And I'm going to see what kind of discussion I'm going to get. And I'm already knowing the discussion is not going to be much. But I'm just showing you that we're in a state right now that we're in a state that unlike ever before. We can talk about the 50s and the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s all we want to. But even back then, it seemed like they had more gumption than we do. Right now, all we want to do, go to work, come home, sit around, watch TV, get on the cell phones, talk on the phone. This is all we want to do, man. And we got to stop this, man. Look at this man, 18 years old. He may not ever, he might spend the rest of his life, man, in jail, in the penitentiary for something that he shouldn't have to spend in there for.
I was just gonna say too, and it's not gonna get any better in there. You think this is over, even if they do lock him up, which I hope not. But if they do, and they sentence him for those 99 years, he's probably gonna be having a fight every day, stabbing people up. I mean, I hate saying that, but they're gonna be after him. They're not gonna let this go. Brother Ray Fires in here again. He says if someone doesn't want to respect you, and you can't get away from their disrespect, you give them a good reason to fear you. Fear has its own form of respect built in. And that's key. Respect. Respect. If you respect people, a lot of this wouldn't happen. But like we mentioned earlier, when you don't respect people, these type of situations are going to keep happening. And I'm just sad that this has happened to this young man.
Yeah, we're gonna go off the air tonight, Chazz, and my heart is really, really heavy. And it's heavy for Karmelo, his family, but it's heavy for us as a people. Because we just don't seem to be interested in the things that's important. Okay. Now we're interested in a lot of things, but the things that we should be interested in, like this case, we're not rallying around people like this. We know that the system is stacked against us. We know that we already have 2 strikes against us. We know all these things. We don't even want to watch this kind of stuff. But let this be something about Beyonce on TV shaking her butt, or let this be about somebody doing something. People would be watching that thing so much, man, that we'd have to pull them away from it.
Sister Barbara Fires in here. She says all 50 states, African Americans should go in on the justice system. If they put this young man away, his family should be protected from this, but they won't do it. She's right. If they put this brother Karmelo Anthony away for those 99 years, we all should, in all 50 states, put up a big fuss and a big fight and show the people that we're sincere. And like she mentioned as well, his family should be protected. But I don't think people are. They're going to be happy. I'm willing to bet you it may not happen on TV, but behind closed doors, you better believe me, at the dinner tables and at these barbecues and these family get-togethers, people are going to be happy if Karmelo gets what they want, to happen to him. And I just hope, I have a gut feeling. I hope that I'm wrong. I just kind of see this playing out like him being another statistic, and like you said, they're gonna say that that's what he gets. But it's unfortunate. I hope I'm wrong though. I really do. I do.
I do too. I hope you're wrong too, Chazz. I'm gonna say my little goodbyes and I'll let you close us out again. But this broadcast tonight has been about the state of Texas versus Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony is the brother you see on the left, African American, 18 years old, who stabbed this man on the right. This is a young man. His name was Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf and his brother was in a tent at a school function, track meet or something, and he stabbed him because he stabbed this man and killed him because they were fighting him. They were going to beat him up. And so now Karmelo is in jail now, waiting for his trial to come up. And all I'm asking is that we keep abreast of what's going on. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for any money. I'm not asking for us to do anything other than keep up with what's going on. Start watching broadcasts and podcasts and shows that has to do with this kind of information. This is very important because when your picture or my picture or their picture is up there, our family's picture is up on this screen, it's going to be a whole different ballgame then, see. We're going to want people to support us. But because it's not ours, we got to stop this, y'all. We got to stop being so selfish and start looking at other people that look like us that's being treated unfair. And once again, Chazz, we got to watch this because we want to have to find out when it happens. Watch the trial. We may have to come back and do a part 2 as to what the verdict was and what really happened. So I want to let you read this about Raymond, his comment, and then I'm going to get off the screen and I'll let you close us out and take us home.
Brother Ray Firestone here, he says, I'm proud of Karmelo Anthony. He didn't want to do what he had to do. He was man enough and brave enough to do it. Yeah, he's right. I don't really think Karmelo Anthony wanted to do that. But once again, when your back is against the wall, that adrenaline is pumping, that blood is pumping, and you have two people standing over you, fighting you, punching you, he had to do that because he would have been taken out. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And like Brother Ray said, he didn't want to do it, but he had to do it.
I'm out, Chazz.
Tonight was a serious subject. It was about Brother Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Austin Metcalf lost his life. Him and his brother tried to jump this young man, Karmelo, and he acted in self-defense. Brother Carmelo's family is in pain. They're all paranoid, afraid. People getting threatened day in, day out. The judge, Angela Tucker, she's getting threatened day in, day out. All these people are really, really attacking this young man because of self-defense. This is where society is. And once again, I have no dog in the fight. I'm just speaking from an honest perspective. The man was fighting back through self-defense, and people are angry at Karmelo for defending himself. Where are we going in America? Once again, and I hope this case is a fair trial. I hope they don't put this brother away for those 99 years. And it's just sad that he got jumped by those two men, Metcalf and his brother. This is a sad, sad society that we're in, and I hope Brother Karmelo gets his justice. And I'll be keeping track of this file. Hopefully we can do a part 2. But I appreciate everybody who logged in tonight. I hope to see you guys next week. Take care.